And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We've heard the old saying, only two things certain in life, death and taxes. We know the coronavirus has delayed our taxes, but not death. So how are funeral homes coping with COVID-19? We take you inside of Eternal Rest Funeral Home to see.
Since the coronavirus, it has affected the funeral home industry in a lot of ways. We have problems getting personal protection equipment because our lives are more at risk as well. We applaud the first responders, the doctors, and nurses, but we are the last line of defense. Therefore, when we receive the call from the hospitals, it is at risk, or we are at higher risk, from bloodborne pathogens, viruses, and germs. And we as funeral professions and morticians are to disinfect to make sure that the health and safety of others are well taken care of.
Now, when we talk about having someone's remains here, are they allowing funerals for individuals who may have died as a result of the coronavirus? And would you handle that?
Would I handle it? Yes, but we'd have to take all necessary precautions. Now, there has been a mandate that we can only allow 10 people to attend the funeral services. And with this epidemic or pandemic that's going on, it's hard to explain to families who have lost a loved one, because everyone is used to hugging and shaking hands, and that is a form of endearment.
Do you require them to sign waivers when they come into this funeral home when it's 10 or less?
Yes, we do. And also at cemeteries as well. And we also inform them that there can only be a limited number.
When we talk about the coronavirus, how has it impacted you?
It's going to impact us because now unemployment is at a high. And so when people lose their jobs, then they look at what's important to support their families, such as food or insurance. So if they lose insurance, how can they afford to pay for the services? Therefore, then we are stuck in a dilemma.
Are you hearing from people where they're now considering more cremation than the traditional funeral?
Yes, we are. We are. But in that situation, proper documentation has to be signed in order for us to cremate. So I'm looking at hospitals. If they get overwhelmed with bodies, or the morgue, then the last line of defense is the funeral home. So I would like to challenge my government officials to look toward getting refrigerated trucks, because if this pandemic tends to escalate, then we are more at risk.
And have you guys seen any COVID-19 coronavirus patients here yet?
Yes.
And what were the circumstances, not revealing detailed information, but what were the circumstances there?
The circumstances are that we have them double bagged and they are refrigerated.
Any concern about having them?
Any concern? Yes, there's a great concern, as with everything, because when we go home to our families, we go home to our wives, our husbands, and our children, and we don't want to have them exposed to this type of virus.
And how many patients have you seen so far, had to store or provide services for so far?
One.
And you guys have a heavy burden because you have these remains that could, and it's a new virus, and we don't know the full impact even after that person is dead.
That is correct. That is so correct.
Anything else you want to add and say finally? Well,
again, our heart goes out to the families, and I really thank them for understanding the causes that we're being impacted with.
Now, at Eternal Rest, they just started streaming their funeral services as of this week. In the meantime, coming up on The Factor Uncensored, we're going to talk to pastors about social distancing in church and how are they prepared for Easter service this Sunday. Stay with us.